You good? Look for your notes first. Yes. Yes. Good. You can use the one we use. Already. Use that. Alright. Alright, so students, what I want you to think about, I need everyone's attention. How's it feel really quick? Alright, I need everyone's attention. So I want you to really focus on the essential question. Alright, I want you to take what Mr. Vargas is saying. Alright, I want you to kind of think about it, process it, and see if you can apply it to some area of your experience, some area of your life. Alright? Because I think we can. I think the more we think about it, the more we're going to be able to speak to it, and then the easier it's going to be to actually write something about it. Okay? I've pushed back our inference assessment until Tuesday, since I know that having an assessment the Monday after homecoming week might not be the best thing to do. Okay? Does that sound like that's okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move it back a day to Tuesday. Alright, so I'll make sure I send you a reminder as well, but let's make sure we give Mr. Vargas our undivided attention. So let's put our earbuds out, phone should be away, don't need to have any of those. And then if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, don't hesitate to throw your hand up in the middle of it. Okay, we'll keep it kind of informal. The more questions you have, I think the more you'll be able to take away from this. Alright, Mr. Vargas, they're all yours.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Is it still too early, or are you guys already settling into the day? How many of you seen the video? Any questions that come out of that? Anything that you thought, anything that captured you out of that video? I'm sorry? That's the second time. Yeah, I have the tattoos, but they're all covered. So that was one of the transformations that I had to do coming out here, was ensuring that what I project out is positive as opposed to negative. When I did him, I was in an environment that I had to project myself as a person you don't mess with. And so having those tattoos helped me through that. But I didn't have to do that anymore when I was out here. Anything else? Anything you got out of that? All right. So I know it's still a little bit early, guys. I don't know how often you get people to come over here and talk to you guys about some of the things that you need to be aware of as you're navigating your high school career, and then you move on to college. How many of you are going to college? Come on now. Everybody should be going to college here. You don't have an option. And eventually I'm going to talk to you about the numbers. The numbers don't lie. But it's very important that you understand how unique you are and you capitalize on that. Knowing your uniqueness sets you apart from everybody else. Setting yourself apart from everybody else gives you opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't have. What do you like to do the best? What do you like to do? What's the thing that you like, the most funnest thing you like? Swimming. I could see him in the Olympics, in the future. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? That sets him apart from everybody here. Who else likes swimming? You? I would like to see you three on a race to see who gets there first. Okay, so not only you're good at swimming, but now as you practice and you move on forward, you get to become a champion by being first all the time. That sets you apart. Setting yourself apart gives you the opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't have, as I said before. How do I set myself apart from everybody? Anybody, from what you've seen, from what you know. Well, this is a prime example right here. Me having the ability, not feeling shy and getting in front of people, hundreds of people at times, sets me apart because not everybody else can do that. Some people are very introverted and shy. I have the ups on those people because I'm not. I'm very assertive. And when you go apply for jobs out there, when you're looking for a career out there, being assertive is going to be very important. Because if you come across shy, with your eyes looking down, with a poor handshake, you're already giving me a negative vibe out of you. So I'm not going to hire you. I'm going to go look for that person who has that confidence, that person who has the ability to show me that they have the power to overcome any situation they face out there. That's just the way it is. We don't have an option, do we? Because when we become adults, we're going to have to face many adversities. We're going to have to face many situations. And if we don't know how to navigate the system, we're going to have a problem. I ran a shelter for some years in Chicago, a shelter for homeless people. I have mothers with children. I have babies being born there. People have burned their bridges. Family did not want to help. The main thing they all had in common was they didn't have a good education. So they had to compete with everybody else out there who did have a good education. And so what happens? Those with the good education got the jobs. Because you cannot make it just with a GED or high school diploma nowadays. Does anybody know what the cost of living is nowadays? Anybody?
A degree.
But what's the cost? How much does it cost a year to live nowadays? Well, think about it. Let's do the numbers, right? By yourself, you go out there, you find a job, you go get an apartment. A studio nowadays is going to go run you about $700. If you get a studio, you're going to have to pay utilities like gas, Comcast, Wi-Fi, because you want Wi-Fi at home and all that stuff. We're talking about on a monthly basis, you're going to have to pay about $400. And then you also need a car to go to work and come back, or to go visit Aunt Jenny. And a cheap car out here, you're probably going to be paying a month about $400. But if you get a car, that's a responsibility too, because you got to put gas in the car, you got to wash it, you got to buy the plate sticker, you got to buy the city sticker, and right now the city sticker in most places are $100. So all of that maintenance stuff, windshield wiper water and all of that stuff, about $300. With gas, the way gas fluctuates, at one point 2 years ago, gasoline was almost at $4 or $5 per gallon. And if you have a huge car, you're putting $100, $120 of gasoline every 3 days. Talking about food a month for food. You gotta eat. $400. That's just the basics right there. We haven't even gone to buy your clothes. We haven't even gone to dinner at a restaurant. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. How much is this? How much is this? Anybody? Who's good at math here? Because I hate math. Straight up. I'm gonna be real. How much is this? Anybody? You can use a calculator, fingers, toes. 2,200? Huh? 2,200. That means that you minimally have to bring $2,200 a month into the house for you to live by yourself and have just the basic necessities. Multiply that by 12. You can use a phone. Come on now, let's work these numbers. I'm sorry? 2,200 by 12 times 12. How much is that? 26,400. Guys, if you just go and get a GED or high school diploma and go find a job, you're going to make entry level only $19,000. What does that tell you? You're not going to make it. You have to go to college. Yeah, sure, you could you come up with an invention. You could be a script writer, you could be a rapper, you could be a musician or a dancer and make a lot of money, but do you really want to take that chance? Because what if? The if factor is very important here. What if you do not make it and you only have $19,000 to survive per year? This is even better. If you have a child, the cost of living for a child per year is $14,000. So that means that if you have a child and you're only earning $19,000 a year, how much money do you have left for yourself for the whole year? $5,000. You're going to have to live with somebody, you're going to have to eat somebody's food, you're going to have to depend on somebody to take you to places. You're not going to make it. This is the reality. This is the numbers. The numbers don't lie. This is reality out here. And you're going to have to face that. And now is the time to prepare yourself for it by setting yourself apart from everybody else. When I say setting yourself apart from everybody else, what comes to mind to anybody here? Anybody? Don't be shy. Anybody? Come on now. When you get out there in the world and they say anybody and you don't put your hand up, you're going to lose that job. They're not going to want to hire you. They need people that are going to say, I'll do it. I'll step up. I'll make it happen. If you don't do that, you have little chance. Because that's the way it is out there. Setting yourself apart from everybody, we discussed it a little bit. I set myself apart from everybody also because I'm also bilingual. Think about the numbers. So if out of 10,000 people that were locked up with me, 5,000 actually gets up in front of people like I'm doing here and talk. Now I have less people to compete with, right? Out of those 5,000, only 2,000 are bilingual, like me. Now I have less people to compete with, right? Out of those 2,000, 500 have a master's degree like me. Now I have less people to compete with, right? And the less people you have to compete with, the more opportunities you're going to have out there bestowed upon you. And that's setting yourself apart from everybody else. You have a chance that I did not have. I didn't have somebody coming into the classroom and talking to me about the importance of a college education, or talking to me about the importance of learning how to navigate the system so that I could be self-sufficient as an adult. I had to learn that all on my own by falling on my face over and over and over and over and over. But I was able to absorb as much information as possible to help me learn the system and navigate. See, you guys read, we learn, we try to learn the Constitution, and we try to learn math, and we try to learn science, and we think that's all that it is. It's all just the Constitution, or it's all just science, or it's all just math. But it's more than that. Because what you don't know is that the more information you get in, the better you are equipped at making decisions because of the information that you have. How many of you like chocolate? Most of you like chocolate, right? How many of you know that the FDA approves up to 60 grams of insect parts in chocolate? That means that the chocolate that you're eating could potentially have insect parts in it. Now, I'm not saying stop eating chocolate. I'm saying now you have more information than you had before. Because before, you just open that wrapper and yum, 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 yum. But now you're going to look at that Hershey bar and be like, do I want to eat that roach? Do I like chocolate so much that that caterpillar is enticing to me? If I would have known that standing in the corner with people who had a negative thought in their mind, acted on it, would have gotten me 12 years in prison, I probably would not have stayed in the corner. Common sense. I didn't have that information. And when I went in front of the judge, I said, but judge, I didn't know that they were going to do this. And the judge says, it doesn't matter. You're guilty by association. So you're going down with them. That's the system. So you walk like a duck, you talk like a duck. People are going to look at you and say, you're a duck. I wish I would have became friends with a whole bunch of nerds at school, and maybe I wouldn't have went through half the stuff I went through in life, because they have more information than I did. And it's not that they are experts in math, it's just that when you talk to people, off the bat, when you're talking to somebody, you're already letting that person know something about yourself, without even saying, well, I got green eyes and brown hair. No, it's more than that. It's about your disposition. It's about how you conduct yourself. And that's going to be very important, because interaction in society is what leads to opportunities. Now that you have an opportunity to start building yourself up and setting yourself apart, think about some of the habits that you have and try to tweak them a little. Conditioning is very important. Conditioning of the mind is very important, because when you condition yourself, you're reinforcing an attitude or behavior that can be beneficial for you in the future. I was telling one of the kids earlier, what classes are you having a problem with? And he says, all of them. I said unto him, okay, let's take math. If you're having a problem in math, you put thousands of hours on Facebook time, on Instagram time, on Snapchat time. Hey, Joey, we're partying over here. That's fine. But all I'm asking you is condition yourself to start putting some discipline upon yourself that's going to be very beneficial when you become an adult. So if you commit yourself to saying every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, I'm putting 15 minutes to math. Not only are you going to see an improvement on your grade, but that's going to have an internal impact on you, where your self-esteem is going to increase. When your self-esteem increases, so does your confidence. When your confidence goes up, you are capable of doing things other people will not otherwise do. And that's what sets you apart from everybody else. That's going to lead to you saying 2 months later, hey, if 15 minutes got me a B, let me put another 15 minutes in there, make it 30 minutes, and maybe I can get that A that I need. And you're going to need to make those modifications, because when you move on to the college world, they're going to be looking at those things. But more so, a lot of colleges that carry the social justice mission are going to look at people that bring something extra to the table. Like, what have you done in your high school year? Have you volunteered? Have you done community service? Not because you had to, not because the school made you, but because you took it upon yourself, understanding your responsibility as a member of this society, that you have to help your fellow man in some form or fashion. I don't give homeless people money, but if I have food, I'll give them food. I'll give the money to the nonprofit that's helping homeless people, because then I know that the money is going where it needs to go, to services to help homeless people find employment, find housing, get health care, take care of their kids, things like that. That's where I put my money at. But I have no problem doing, guys, what I'm doing right here is voluntary. I'm not going to pay for this. But I am, not in money. I'm thinking long term, guys. A picture was taken of me right now, here, talking to you guys. That picture is going into a professional platform that's called LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional platform, somewhat like Facebook, but for mature professional people, doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, bankers. And I think that right now I got about 1,200 connections. I go in LinkedIn and I put that picture in there, and I say, at Elgin High School, AVID program, go Maroons, all good. Hundreds of people are going to see that. That opens doors. People might call me to go talk in other schools. People might say, I need you to come and work for us. We need your experience. We need your background to help other people. That's how you get back what you put out. That's how you open doors. Right now at this age, I'm not asking you to go volunteer every day, every week, every month. No, it's unrealistic. You guys got lives. You guys got things. Bless you. You guys got things to do. I understand that. Your stuff is as important as my stuff. We are no different from each other, other than I set myself apart by the traits and qualities and abilities that I put forth out there so that I can gain those opportunities. Any questions so far? The college is going to look at you and say, what else have you done? I'm telling you to go out there once a year, every 6 months, and do an act of goodness out there, not only for others, but that comes back. Anybody know what karma is? Yeah. What you put out there is what you bring in. So go out there, you do it for somebody, and you do it for yourself at the same time, because when you start building your resume, I'm going to be able to see that you set yourself apart from everybody, not only because you have a master's degree, but also because you've done all this community service, which shows me that you are compassionate, responsible, reliable, and I'm going to hire you. But if you don't show me that, you're going in the same pile as everybody else that did not take an opportunity to make something of themselves, to give something so that you can get something in return. You spend a lot of time on all of these social media. Try looking into LinkedIn and start building your report. Take a professional picture. Guys, wear a suit. Ladies, wear a suit. Take a picture. Put it on the professional LinkedIn. What you're putting in social media can also hurt you or help you in the future. If you're putting garbage on Facebook, employers are looking at Facebook pages to see the quality of people that are applying, applicants. And I, off the bat, if I see a Facebook and all I see is garbage in there, things that are meaningless, that have nothing to do with productivity or positivity, I'm not even going to entertain even looking at your resume. It follows you. What you're putting out there in social media is out there now, and it cannot be erased. You can delete all you want. It's out there. People can pull it out. If you go on Google right now and you type my name, Israel Vargas, Chicago, you're going to see a whole bunch of links to reports, commentaries, newspapers, with quoting me. Those are positive things. So when people, I know that when employers out there put my name out there, they're going to see nothing but community work, commitment, compassion, responsibility, reliability, and they're going to want to hire me because that's what they're looking for. If you start building yourself up now, you don't have to wait till, like I did, until I was released at the age of 32 to start from scratch, because I started from scratch at the age of 32. I went in at the age of 19. What did I know at the age of 19? Nothing. And guys, girls mature faster than guys do. Statistics show that we start maturing around the age of 25. I have 35-year-old men out there still acting a fool because they haven't matured. Being mature doesn't mean you got to be boring. It doesn't mean that you have to alienate yourself. Being mature means that you're capable of looking at information and make a wise decision, understanding your responsibility to yourself and your responsibility to society. Because you are part of the society, regardless of what you think or you don't want to think. And if you don't like it, then go to the mountains in the Kalahari or go to an island in the Pacific. Other than that, wherever you go, you're going to be part of a society and you are responsible for that society. All of us are. All of us. We move together, society. See, what happens is that when we have a lot of people out there who are in need, where do you think the money comes from to help them? Anybody? Where does the money come from to help all the people in need? It comes from our pockets. It comes from the taxes that we pay. So the more people we have out there in need, potentially, the more we're going to have to take out of our check to give to the government to help those people out. So understanding how we are a member of this society and we are responsible for each other and for ourselves. I mean, I don't want to have to take half of my check and give it to the government to give it to people in need because I'm in need. I need that money. I want to take a trip. I want to go on vacation. So we educate ourselves so that we become gainfully employed and don't have to drain the system of the resources. The more people that are working, the better the economy is because more people are spending. the less people that are working, less people are spending, and so the economy doesn't move like it's supposed to. It's just what it is. I had to understand the system to navigate it. One thing I have found is that I have worked for nonprofits right here that have been here for 20, 30 years. And I have literally walked across the street to the people that live in their house and said, did you know that over here they give help to people who are about to lose their home? And the family was like, we didn't know what was going on either. I had a guy tell me, when I was working at the shelter, I went to the guy, he was doing construction, I said, do you know what we do in there? And he said, not really. And I said, well, we help homeless people. They stay with us, we help them find jobs, we help them find employment, housing, we help them with food, 3 meals a day, all that stuff. And he's like, really? For some reason, I thought you guys were a brothel. You know what that is? Because they seen a lot of guys coming in and out, they thought it was a whorehouse or a house of prostitution. Yes. Because we instinctively make judgments without having all the information available. How many times have you thought that somebody was funny, was a dork, was a nerd, but you ended up knowing that person, or was bad, come across bad, but then you ended up knowing that person, and that person was nothing like you thought. Because we make these judgments right away instead of knowing people, getting to know people. And people make those judgments about you. Who you hang with, the activities you are involved in. People immediately make judgment. They immediately tag you. And you should not care about what people think of you, but you should care about how you're coming across. Because image is everything. If I would have walked into that shelter to get that job and I had my pants sagging all the way to my knees, dirty t-shirt, do you think I would have gotten the job? No. Not even with a master's degree, I would not have gotten a job. Because there are certain protocols that we have to follow in order to engage in our society. That's just the way it is. Guys, how much do you think you're going to earn with just a high school diploma or GED? No clue, do you? Not enough to survive by yourself. Not enough to survive by yourself. You're going to have to rely on other people. Start building yourself up for now. Who here are doing extracurricular activities, done volunteering work, anything like that? What have you done?
I did too much very.
Oh, good for you. Do you have that on your resume? Do you even have a resume?
No.
Okay, you guys need to start working on a resume. You guys need to start working on a resume right now. Yeah, you're not going to have a lot in it, but guess what? You know how many adults come to me asking me for help on how to do their resume? I'm like, where have you been? I learned how to do a resume in prison. Isn't that crazy? I learned booking, accounting in prison. I know how to do bank reconciliations before I came out. Okay? Goals. Goals are going to be very important. Let me tell you how important they are. And it doesn't mean that it's going to come out exactly as you put it there, but you're going to make it. I got out in 2002, and I knew that in order for me to integrate into society, I needed to complete 4 goals as a man. As a man. For ladies, it's different. You have other type of goals. My goals were engage in a career, continue my education, establish a family, and buy a house. I knew that if I bought a house, the members of my community will see that I'm investing. And so they will accept me as part of that community. Because the reality is that in areas that you have mostly renters than homeowners, there's a higher level of crime. Because a person that rents may not feel as invested in that community as a homeowner. is just common sense. In 3 years, I accomplished those goals. By 2005, I had a bachelor's in psychology, I had a house, I had a family, and I was in social services. While I still had a bracelet, and the state was still telling me when to leave my house, when to come back to the house. With those restrictions, I accomplished all 4 goals in 3 years. No one can tell me it's too hard. No one can tell me because I have a background. No one can tell me, where do I get that information? You know where to get that information if you look for it. The people across the street didn't know what was happening in this agency because they never faced adversity that prompted them to get up and look for help. Don't wait to that time. Learn the system now so that in the event that you take a stumble, you're able to come about it. Thank you.
Students, do you have any questions for Mr. Vargas?
I know it's a lot to take, but I planted the seed. And then you're going to have your aha moments in which you're going to say, I heard that before. Oh, I know how to do that. I think somebody taught me how to do that. And it's going to all come together into that great picture that is going to be your life. Very proud of you guys.
I have a question, Mr. Vargas.
Sure.
So once you decided to kind of right the ship while you were in prison, what are some, and you talked about goal setting, I know I could probably tell that was a really important factor kind of determining your success. What were some other factors that, ended up, that sort of contributed to you getting to where you are now?
Understanding that in regards to how I understood what life was, understanding that mentality of segregating ourselves into a group of people that behaves in a certain way is not the reality of it. That I found myself in a situation in which those people that I hung out with were the same ones that could take my life away. The ones that were close enough to me to kill me. And that's when I realized I need to revert back to who I really am. Take the mask off and be myself. An actually good-natured person who just wants the best for myself and everybody.